Minutes. There was a motion made by Bob Hedrick, seconded by Sean Hedrick. It should be seconded by Sean Manning. Got it?
Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
No, other than that, we look good.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. The next item is acceptance of the agenda. I don't have any changes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
John made the motion, seconded by Bobby. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. So first up, communications and correspondence. April Graves is here tonight to give an update on the Committee on Solidarity. Thank you, April.
Hello, everyone. So the Committee on Solidarity updates the Board of Selectmen on our work the third Wednesday of each month. And I wanted to come here tonight as the chairwoman and just let you know where we're going, what we're doing, and to introduce ourselves to the new board. There's been some misconceptions about what our committee actually does, so we thought it was important to let everyone know what Solidarity Committee really is. So I know solidarity means the coming together around a common purpose, reason, and that's what we are. So we're bringing Portland together, all people of Portland, not just one particular group or another particular group. We are for the entire town of Portland, including all of you, which is why when we originally were formed, we worked with the Board of Selectmen, the Police Department, Youth Services, and the Board of Education. And then now that we're a committee, we still work with all of them. However, our meetings run a little bit different now. So, there's some misinformation out there about us. Some think that when we spoke about having more diverse staff in our town, that, we were trying to get rid of people and hire different groups. None of that is true. That's just, we were discussing based on our survey that we had conducted, that people thought that, we needed more diverse candidates, and that when we look at hiring, we hire to a broader area than just the River East in our town website. So that in essence is what we're doing. We're just trying to bring our community together. And sorry, I'm a little out of breath tonight, been a little ill. So we come before you every month, and I'll be telling you what we're going to be doing. So our first thing that we're doing is a second survey to follow up on our first survey to see if there's been any progress and to set the calendar for what we're going to do in the upcoming year. We're looking at educational activities, another Pride activity, and another Juneteenth activity, as well as a cultural fair. So that's what we're working on. When we come in January, we will have already released our survey, and then in February, we'll present the results to all of you. And we're also going to send you the end of the task force report that we wrote up. Some of you have already seen it, but that way you will be able to see all the work that we have done. Okay? Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
April.
April. And April pointed out, going forward, under old business, we'll have this on the agenda, so we'll have a formalized update from April, so thank you. Next, under communications and correspondence, we have some very good news. The Cromwell Portland Panthers football team won the state championship this Saturday, and I was in attendance. I know Bobby Hedrick was as well. And what a game it was. And they went undefeated for the season, 13-0. And so I know the town of Portland is extremely proud of this team for all that they've accomplished. And so the board wanted to issue a certificate of congratulations to the football team. And so we have that here. And John, did you say you'd like to read it?
Yeah, I'll read
to
it.
the record?
Sure.
Great.
And just, I'll apologize in advance if I butcher any of these young men's names, but I'll do my best. Certificate of congratulations. May it be known, this certificate has been presented by the Portland Board of Selectmen to recognize and honor the Cromwell Portland Panthers football team on their outstanding season of finishing undefeated and the achievement of winning the 2021 CIAC Class S football state championship game against Bloomfield 21-6 on December 11th, 2021. To their credit, without the excellent performance, dedication, and commitment of these young students and coaches, this victory would not have been possible. Randall Bennett, head coach. Assistants, Jack Hemsley, Jack Wilson, Ethan Roy, Dwight Bailey, Scott Hartem. And the players, Henry Sela, Ryan Rozick, Theodore Williams, Cole Brisson, Alexander Hare, Jess Elfreich, Paul Wimbish Sparaza, Michael Rambaros, Jackson Williams, Ray Boudreau, Matteo Brousseau, Matthew Benezuski, Jihad Blake Singleton, Isaac Moore, Owen Brunk, Alex McKiernan, Amika Yearwood, Jaden Wynn, Mackay Campbell, Ben Fagan, Johnny Beltray, Matt Gish, Richard Cordero, Eric Treglia, Aidan Raymond, Jacob Twitchell, Gaurish Shermaralinga, Alil Kaban, Davon Lovelace, Rusan Gordon, Brandon Rose, Vaughn Payne, Jack Nolan, Dylan Rossick, Griffin Schaefer or Schaffer, Derek Wilson, Alan Cohen, Jackson DeMatteo, Connor Egan, Kyle Kazmarzik, Ethan Philbrick, Ashton Rambaros. Congratulations to the coaches, parents, players, and the high schools on this outstanding achievement. We commend them highly for the display of sportsmanship and leadership. Acknowledged on this 15th day of December in the year 2021 by Ryan J. Curley, First Selectman, Town of Portland, Connecticut, Board of Selectmen, John H. Dillon, Michael S. Hernandez, Robert W. Hetrick Jr., Sean P. Manning, Michael A. Pelton, Ralph R. Zampano.
Thank you, John. Well done. So I just want to say, I believe this will be in the River East as well this Friday, this certificate of congratulations. And I spoke with our superintendent today, and I believe he's going to talk to the Board of Ed about a possible banner on Main Street, and congratulations to the team. So again, congratulations, and we're very fortunate to have a winning football team this year. So, all right. So next item on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone here in person that would like to address the board? Okay, nothing in the chat. All right. So we'll move on to old business. And first up on the agenda is the Portland Agricultural Fair. And I really don't have too much to report from our last meeting. We did have another joint meeting at the Riverfront Park last Tuesday, and it was very well attended. But as of right now, there are still some ongoing questions as far as where some of the larger tents will be located and whether or not there'll be enough clearing down there that's needed. And so at this point, I believe that the fair committee is still working behind the scenes with the Brownstone Quorum to come to an agreement that both sides can agree with, because everyone's in agreement that we want the Portland Fair to continue into 2022, but we also want to make sure that we protect that riverfront, because that's also important to the town and preserving that. So that's really where we're at with that. Does anyone have any questions on that?
All I have is a comment, and as a lot of you know, I worked with Don Bascom getting the fair started, and I was involved with it for 16, 18 years. Only thing I could recommend is, and food for thought, the fair is we are a member of the State Fair Association. which has certain requirements in order for your fair to be recognized as a state fair. And there are benefits to that. You get certainly some of the promotion for the fair and other things. But I know that there are certain functions, certain shows of animals and crafts and things of that nature that must be, you must show them in order to meet those criteria. But I also know that there are some things that we do that may not necessarily be a mandate to allow us to be on the State Fair Association. So, if it really comes down to, running out of space or trying to find space and or losing the fair, my recommendation would be to have the group go back and review the requirements of the State Fair Association and see if there's a way we could scale back for a couple of years and still meet those requirements, still have a fair that can move forward, and then kind of reevaluate how we move forward. That would be my only thought.
Thanks, John. That's a good point. I can bring that to the next meeting. We don't have a meeting set at the moment, but I will say that I know that the Portland Exchange Club is working on updating their fairgrounds so that we can that this would only be a temporary solution for. I believe the goal is 2 years, and so ideally we'd like to get the fixes at the Exchange Club fairground so that we can move the fair back in a couple of years. So thank you, John. So next up tonight we have appointments and reappointments to boards and commissions, and this is on the agenda every meeting, but tonight it will be a little more in depth because with the new board there are also, at the end of the year, there are terms that are expiring, and there's also some vacancies to fill. So I know that Bobby and Ralph and the parties have been working hard to find replacements and candidates for these boards and commissions. So I just want to, before we start, just thank everyone who has served on a town board or commission and who would like to serve on a town board or commission, because these are unpaid positions, but they're vital to the town, and they do so much good for all of us. So thank you to them. And with that, Bobby, would you like to start?
Sure.
So are we gonna, excuse me, just ask a question? Are we gonna attack it that we'll do each commission at a time? Or
I think that's probably the way to do it. Like want to do that? All right.
And vote for the group in each commission then?
Okay.
That's fine.
So will we do individual names, or we want to put it here?
No,
Well,
individual
just-
names.
Okay. All right, first is for the Conservation Commission. We have a nomination for Karen Renner.
So Bobby, you nominate Karen Renner. And then is there a second?
I'm in second.
Sean seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Our next nominee is Robert Wildermuth.
Okay.
I second.
Thank you. Sean seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Did you get that? Did you get the name?
I didn't get the last name.
Wildermuth.
Do you want to give me that?
I'll just give it to you after. Yeah. Okay. that sounds good. Okay.
And that is it for that commission for the
Yep.
Republican.
Okay, so I will nominate Christopher Chenier.
Second.
Second.
John seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And then I will nominate Norm Ward for I think, the vacated position of Jay Brown, right? Is that the one?
Correct. Yep.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And then for alternates, I would like to nominate Anthony Piero and Christy Fuller.
Do we do this together? Yeah, I guess we
Oh,
do.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We're doing
why
one
don't
at
do
a time.
one at a time.
Okay, first I'll do Anthony Piero.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
And then I would nominate Christy Fuller.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
For the Economic Development Commission, we have Michael Nadolski.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next, we have Amy Wemler Rader.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. I think, I guess I'll just go through this. This is the Emergency Management Advisory Board. I nominate Ronald J. Millardo.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. I nominate Raymond Sajak.
I'll second that.
Think, John, get that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. I nominate Donald B. Goodwin.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. Get that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Now, the Ethics Commission, Patrick Moynihan.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
And I will nominate Caitlin Piero.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you know John seconded that? Okay. Trying to go fast.
I'll be louder.
I might as well do this while we're on it for the Housing Authority. So the Housing Authority has a resident rep with the Housing Authority that needs to be appointed. I believe they held an election. And so this resident will be filling this seat on the Housing Authority. That was where the term had since expired. Yes? Oh, you're Cynthia.
I am.
All right, Cynthia. We're about to nominate you right now, so congratulations. All right, I nominate Cynthia Ferraro to the Housing Authority.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Housing Code Board of Appeals, nominee is Joseph Spada.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
I'm sorry. I nominate Amanda Herzog.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, so now we're on to inland wetlands. And for inland wetlands, I'd like to nominate Martha Dumas.
Second that motion.
All those in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
And I would also like to nominate Alan Fenro.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next board is the Library Board of Directors, and we have Donald Eiler.
I second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, and I would like to nominate Betsy Graziano.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
I would like to also nominate Jade Richardson.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
And the third one, I'd like to nominate Laurel Steinhauser.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next is Long Range Capital Improvements Commission. First candidate is Cindy Verruccio.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's Cindy Rickia?
Baricchia.
Ricky,
Yeah.
Rick.
Yep. Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next, we have Matt Walsh.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next commission, we have Parks and Recreation Commission, Christopher Donahue.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
I'd like to nominate Karen Agliotti.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
And as an alternate, I'd like to nominate Peter Philanda.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Planning and Zoning Commission, our first one is Robert Taylor.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next, Robert Ellsworth.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
As alternate, I would like to nominate Carolyn Freeman.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carried.
And as second alternate, I'd like to nominate Tom Bransfield.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Senior Citizens Advisory Board, Janet Kalani?
Coloni? Okay.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. This is, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Next candidate is Elaine Cody.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And Pamela Dapkus.
Now, okay, but this I believe this is a vacancy, so we're nominating to fill a vacancy here.
Okay.
But just for the record.
Nominating to fill a vacancy, the candidate is Pamela Dapkus.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And finally, for that board, I'd like to nominate Ruth Mayo.
I will second that motion.
And that's to a regular seat. Ruth
Yes.
Mayo would be a regular seat.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Water and Sewer Commission, our first nominee is Richard Cody.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Next, James McCabe.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Next, James Nursick.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And I'd like to nominate Jim Tripp to a recently vacated position.
I'll second that.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, Sean, I believe, seconded that. Yeah, just speak up, Sharon, if you need to ask. Yeah. Thank you.
And finally, I'd like to nominate David Kuzminski for the other recently vacated
And
position.
I will second that motion.
All right, John seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Okay, we have Youth Services Advisory Board. Our first nominee is Michelle Donahue.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Next is Jennifer Meisner.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And then Sarah Donahue.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And finally, on that one, I would like to nominate Shelley Nolan as an alternate.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
So that's
had one more. Oh, wait,
Oh,
no,
wait.
we had to table that.
No, we had to wait on
Mhm.
that.
Sorry. So
So,
next up is ZBA alternate.
yeah.
I have some, let's see. While I get that, you can go to, Kurt Peters.
Last one.
Yeah, from ZBA alternate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nominate Kurt Peterson.
Okay.
So alternate in ZBA.
We have a nominee for Kurt Peterson as an alternate for zoning board of appeals.
I'll second that motion if you mind.
Thank you, Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
John
John.
seconded that. Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. All right, so
Do committees now.
we have, now we're doing town committees. And we have the airline
Yep.
trail.
So for the airline trail, I would like to nominate Lou Pear.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
And I also, excuse me, I would also like to nominate Rick Shar to the airline trail.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carried.
And then the other one I have on the Clean Energy Task Force. I would like to nominate Lou Pear for that one as well.
I'll second, Lou's gonna love us. I'll second Lou.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
So school, what are we doing with school?
So for school, we have a couple
Is it
things.
listed on there?
It is. It's cut off here. So the schools facility committee goes on to page 5. So, I guess I'll make a motion. So Lou Pear had previously served on the schools facility committee in his capacity as a selectman. However, now that he has retired from the board of selectmen, he would still like to continue in this capacity, and there is a seat that is open on this committee. So I'd like to nominate Lou Pear to the, I want to get it right, schools facility study committee.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ralph. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. And now I would like to nominate Bobby Hetrick to the seat on this board that was vacated when Lou retired from the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second that.
I'll second that motion. Whoever.
Sean seconded that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. And I think that will
I think that completes that
do it.
section of the program.
That can, thank you all for bearing with us here. I do want to say there is I just wanted to mention that I am appointing myself to the Cable Advisory Committee. This is a regional committee that former Selectwoman Susan Bransfield had served on, and they meet every other month to talk about issues pertaining to the cable, if anyone has complaints and whatnot. So I just wanted to inform the selectmen that I will be attending those meetings coming up in 2022. And that is it for appointments. So 8, new business. The first item, we have a resolution authorization to apply for assistance to firefighter grant communication equipment. And we have our fire chief, Bob Shea, is here. Bob, did you want to speak to this, or? Yeah, sure.
So good evening. This is an annual event, sometimes twice a year, depending on the AFG requirements. But as 20 years of being chief, we really haven't missed an opportunity to apply, and we've been awarded a little over $1 million over the 20 years that I've kind of chaired this as chief. So this year we're looking again. This is almost a repeat of what we tried last year and were denied out of the gate for a $518,000, 518 and change, $1,000 grant to upgrade our communication system. Our current communication system was a grant when I started as chief 20 years ago. It's becoming very outdated. It's out of service. As you call, we can't, at this point, get any replacement parts for our units, so we have to upgrade. Just to give you an idea where that's gone in 20 years, the first portable that I bought for the department was about $395. If I buy a portable for us to operate today, it's $8,000. It's incomprehensible to even look at that difference, but that's where we are as far as public safety and communication. So our police department has changed over to a digital system, an 800 frequency with Middletown, and they were part of that very large grant. Actually, it was paid by the city of Middletown. We were able to get upgraded to a certain point using money that we had available from funds over the past few years. So our interoperability is good to a point for mutual aid for just a few units. What we're looking to do now is to upgrade. We're sitting on what I would call an island. We're a little inferior to those around us that have upgraded to this new system, and we need to be more compliant. Our interoperability needs to be upgraded so that we can talk to our surrounding towns, especially related to mutual aid. And it has nothing to do with fighting the fire. It all has to do with firefighter safety. We need to be able to be on the same page when we transmit a Mayday call. It has to come over the right frequencies. We need all our surrounding officers, no matter what town we're working in, to be able to communicate on that frequency in the event we have that emergency, you know, just as well as overall operations. So we are going to continue to fight. We write grants every year. We've been very successful. Most recently, over the past year and a half, we received the $235,000 grant to update our SCBA, which was awarded 20 years ago as well. So we're going to continue to fight for this important communication money. I hope that we can do this. Otherwise, very soon, it would be a burden that we're going to have to address. So each year, I'm trying to use what money we have to be able to incorporate our system and make our communication better. But at $8,000, that's about a portable a year. We need about 40. Each seat of a fire truck needs a portable. Each firefighter has to have the ability to call for help. And that's the issue. That is the new standard that we have to apply for and commit to. So we're trying to do this with this. So out of that, it's a 5% match. I come to you to make sure that you're fully aware that we're applying for this grant, and I ask for your vote to do so, because there is a $24,000 requirement for the town if it's received at a 5% match.
Thank you, Bob.
Welcome.
Is there a motion to?
I'll make the motion. This is firefighter safety. Our firefighters are volunteers. They deserve this. So I'll make a motion that we approve this move.
Waive the reading, or would you like to?
Want me to read it?
It's up to you.
You got it. Okay, dated December 15, 2021, authorization to apply for assistance to firefighter grant communications equipment. Whereas the Portland Fire Department is in need of updated and OSHA NFPA compliant radio communication equipment to replace current radios that have approached end of life. And whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, offers grants for assistance to firefighters, CFDA number 97.044. And whereas the Portland Fire Department wants to apply for a grant in the amount of $518,119.20. Federal share of grant is $493,446.86. If awarded, the town of Portland would need to provide a match of 5%, amounting to approximately $24,672.34. Match funding would need to be set aside at a future date. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Portland hereby authorizes Ryan J. Curley, First Selectman, and/or his designee, Fire Chief Robert Shea, to apply for, sign, and execute any required documents for the grant process.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Sean. Any discussion on this? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. And don't go far. because next up is request by Director of Public Works to utilize $1 million from the American Rescue Plan for water and sewer infrastructure improvements and to set a public hearing date for public input. So, Bob, do you want to speak to this as well?
It's Christmas, Bob, we just spend the
Yeah, why
money.
not? So, here we are, and many cities and towns have received rescue money since of COVID in many different dollar amounts, and it's per capita. So Portland was fortunate enough to be part of that. And what I'm looking for is, I'm not sure if many of you have read or see the acceptable uses that have been put out by the government for this this funding, looking to make it easy and dial right into their acceptable areas. As you know, we've talked for years. I didn't realize how much it's needed until I took the position as Director of Public Works. But our water and sewer infrastructure is old, and it continues to need work. It continues to fail, and we need to continue to move forward. We've made some really good improvements over the years, and we need to continue to do that. And I feel that this being an acceptable use of the funds without having to go through the approval stages and the hoops that are required to really look for funding for other areas, to lock into some improvements that have been on the books since basically the Thai bond study that was offered to us well before I started. So we're looking to make improvements to our Co-Avenue pump station, which are critical. You know, we're pumping water out of a pump station that takes in sewage, which we shouldn't be doing, so we need to make some critical improvements below ground to secure those pipes that are coming in and to stop that infiltration. We need to update our telemetry to properly read data. We need to update our generator power. We lose that pump station, we're going to have to bypass that, and that's not going to be pretty for the downtown area. It pumps all our sewage to the plant from this lower side of Main Street. So we want to upgrade our, we have upgraded our generator, but unfortunately the way we supply it with propane is an underground tank that's extremely old. We actually have to pump water off of that to actually fill it with propane. So that's failing. We want to make that an exterior tank, you know, much more modern and engineered properly. So all that's included. That's about $400,000 with engineering, and we can get probably 90% of what we need to do with that. On the water side, we have a history, and we need to get rid of our asbestos pipe. And I've looked at the Russell Avenue area that's had multiple issues over many, many years to try to remove that and actually connect to Main Street. You have to understand the looping process to be able to get water to come different ways. It stops at Co-Avenues, doesn't make it up to Main Street. So we want to remove that. We want to put new pipe in. We want to put new gates in. We want to get it to Main Street, which is going to serve the public better in the event we do have an emergency. We can move water and isolate it for many less residents until we make a repair. That's long overdue, and that's probably a $600,000. So in totality, it's about $1 million that I'm looking for out of this, I think, very beneficial benefit that we're receiving from the federal government. I think it meets the criteria dead on, and I'm looking for that support to move forward and make these critical improvements.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, I have one question. So obviously I know we're doing a great job at the Brownstone Ave to try to hit some of the troubled areas. If we hit Russell Avenue as well, when I go in your office and look at your pins board, am I gonna feel comfortable that we've taken out a lot of those pin areas?
You're going to take this much out. Yeah, that's funny. I have the system on my wall, and that's kind of where I started. And I use pin tacks for every failure or area that we have, and it's covered. Unfortunately, since I started, we probably had over 40 issues, which is kind of crazy. Talk to the past director, he's like, I can't even make up those numbers, but you know, the system's old. You know, we're getting to that point. We are making some improvements each and every day, the most we can with the manpower that we have. We made a great improvement on Brownstone Avenue, long overdue. That is completed. We received some steep money for that project, which was great from the state. And then we used some of our capital money that, was put in place to do that. We're scrapping, we're moving around. I'm doing my best with what we have. We're using our manpower to try to fill in between. But this particular rescue plan money is a pretty great benefit. And I think that they see that they want to put it into infrastructure to benefit all those, especially for health, that being water and sewer as well. So,
I have just two quick things. For the presentation, for the public hearing, will you be doing a PowerPoint presentation where we see a visual of the mapping that you're talking about running up to Main Street from Russell?
yeah, basically, Mike, it's really from Middlesex Avenue Extension
Yep.
straight to Main Street.
Are you gonna show this a visual for the public hearing now, so
I could
people
do
will
that.
understand what's
Sure.
going on?
I could put something together.
Okay, thank-
Absolutely, whatever you want.
Yeah, just a visual so people will know.
Yeah,
And then
footage, pipe
Yep.
difference, yeah, sure.
And the last thing is, and also at this public hearing, could you maybe ask Tom Robinson what we've received already for the American Rescue Plan money, what we've received for monies?
I can.
And what we anticipate on receiving?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
believe it's done in two.
It's twofolds.
Twofold,
Yeah,
right?
they call it two different trenches, they call
Yeah.
or transactions. I believe we received our first one, and I believe the second one, and I could be wrong there, is due sometime in June of '22.
Okay, yeah, if you could just bring that to the
Sure.
table at the next hearing. Thank
Our
you.
next, Mike, just so you know, our next Board of Selectmen meeting will be a financial meeting on the 5th of January, so Tom will be there at that meeting.
Okay.
I did anticipate that question today. I did talk to Tom Robinson about this. He said if we do make these improvements with that first trench, as Bob said, we would have, I think, 150,000 left of that original. Believe it's 1.3, I believe is how much we received in the first allocation, and then we would be receiving another 1.3 in June. Does that sound right, Bob?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we had
one.
1.7 and we committed some prior potential
Okay.
commitment to get to 1.3.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
yeah, so we'll have to ask Tom for the certain, but the point is, this is a critical need for the town. We need infrastructure improvements. Unfortunately, I don't think $1 million goes as far as
No.
we would like it to with this. So all we're doing today is setting a date for the public hearing, which will be on January 5th, and it will be here in the Buck Foreman Room at 7:15. So it'll take place before the next Board of Selectmen meeting, and the public can address this and comment on whether or not they think this is good to move forward with. But clearly, I think the board is in agreement that this is a need for the town.
And then while we're also on this, Bob, I know there's been major issues with Rogers Road with the drainage and stuff like that.
Correct.
Does that not qualify under this? I was gonna say, can you loop that in
No.
if necessary?
Well, so this is the infrastructure under the road. Drainage is not really there. That is on my target for available money that we have for road aid fund and, to actually replace Rogers Road. The infrastructure under that is newer.
Okay.
The water main and the sewer is in good shape there. It's much newer than certainly Rogers Road. That's asbestos, so. That was replaced, I don't have a date, but it's not that old for Rogers Road. So that's an area that, and that's the other thing. When I look at making road improvements, I'm not going to get into it. We'll have plenty of time on the budget. We're working with state aid road. We're not funding road money to actually repair roads. We're concentrating on chip sealing, and we're using whatever money I can save there to pave, which, we've done 5 projects since I started, actually rebuilding roads and doing drainage at the same time in some critical areas. I want to continue that, a road or 2 a year. So that's going to require some more funding, because the funding that we use that comes in from state aid road, or town aid road, I should say, from the state is limited. You can only do so much, and that's our chip sealing program. So whatever I can try to save on that and continue to work into actually repairing and repaving a road, which will give us 15 to 20 years on a surface, such as High Street, Spring Street, some other areas that we've done, That's part of that program, which I'll be speaking on in the budget. So Rogers Road is on my plan to actually reclaim. Reclaiming is a good thing. You're taking all that product that you spent money on that's existing in the road and putting it back into the sub-base and paving over that. It gives you an incredible longevity. You're not taking that material away that you've already paid for. You're reusing it to create a base. So on an engineering side of it, it's probably the best way to do a road. With that said, you have to make sure that the infrastructure under it is secure, because the last thing you want to do is spend money on paving a road and then a year later you're digging it up to replace that old. So I look at it both ways. Rogers Road is a benefit because I think the infrastructure under it is good, it's newer, and we can go in and repair that and replace some of those, or repair some of those drainage areas that are down near the culvert.
All right, thank you.
I have one question. When, if it's approved for like Russell Avenue and that, would the whole road be repaved after? Or is it just gonna be a trench and past the trench?
No, the plan is hopefully to be able to use the 600 portion of that on the water side for the replacement and then the repaving.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, trench work only lasts so long.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Brownstone Avenue, that being more of a commercial area, we're gonna have to address that, and I'm hoping that I have a plan for that coming this spring. But right now, we've patched that trench and it seems to be good.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's how do you get the 600 to do water, then you need the 150 to pave the road. It's expensive to pave. People, I know chip sealing is an issue. I could do 15 roads to one with the money that's available. It's almost 12 times the cost to pave. But we need to get there. We needed to chip away at a road at a time. Good?
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Okay, guys, thank you.
So, again, we're not taking an action on this tonight. We're just setting the date for that public hearing. I don't think so, but we can make one. Would someone like to make a motion for?
Sure, I'll do it. Make a motion for the public hearing date of January 5th, 2022.
Yep. I'll second.
At 7:15 PM here in this room.
All right, seconded by Mike Pelton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. The next item, we have Andy Bauer is here, once again, with a solar array, and this is a proposed construction of solar arrays on town-owned property at the Route 17 Recreational Park concession stand. And so, if you recall, at the last meeting, we talked a lot about the potential project at the transfer station that is ongoing. And so this is a separate project, and what this is at the new park we have a concession stand, and on the roof of this concession stand we have the ability to put a solar array. And there would be essentially no cost to the town for this solar array. But Andy, do you want to talk a little bit about this project? I know Alan Sabins couldn't be here tonight, and that's we had spent some time. He's with CSW.
Correct.
Yes.
CSW Energy.
Mhm.
Evening, everybody. Good to see you again. So as Ryan said, we're talking about a potential for solar on the concessions building. So maybe it might be helpful to give a little bit of timeline. At the end of the year, there's a program called ZREC, Zero Emissions Energy Credit, and that's a funding source for solar to go on municipal buildings. What the resolution in front of you asks is to designate CSW Energy to act as the town's agent, to simply, at this point, put in a request to say, hey, what are the incentives should we go forward with this? It is a commitment only to look at the incentives. We could get that response back, which is potentially, let's say, middle of February. And if it doesn't look good, The task force would look it over, we'd sit down with Alan, then we bring it to you guys. If it looks good, then we say, okay, do you want to go forward? You know, we can start taking a look at the building more specifically, the engineering, roof structure, you know, I'm sure it would all pass, but we would do that due diligence. But for right now in front of you, as Ryan indicated, there's no financial exposure to the town. There actually would not be ever with this project, because the notion of a power purchase agreement, a PPA, is that a third party would own this. That's the way most municipalities do solar, is to have somebody else own it, because that company gets to take advantage of the tax credits, and then in some way, shape, or form, those savings are pushed back to the town. If the town goes out and buys solar, we could do that, but we don't, as a tax exempt entity, we would not be able to take away, get any of the tax benefits, which is, again, why we end up with PPAs. Not a bad thing. We don't pay anything. We just enjoy a reduced rate for solar or for electricity on the roof of the concessions building. It's a lot. If you know, I kind of like think about this stuff every day. So if there's questions, please, I'm available.
Well, I know that I have 40 panels on my roof, and I like seeing the small electric bill, so if we could do the same thing for that park, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. I'll just say, we had a call the other day, a meeting on this, and the only question that was brought up was whether or not we could look into this, given that the bond for the park has not been closed yet. So we did talk to bond counsel, and we got the thumbs up that this initial stage does not cross any lines. So from that standpoint, you know, I think this is a good thing for the town to at least move forward to the next step. So if anybody would like to introduce the resolution.
I'll move.
Okay.
I move we approve resolution, Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, dated December 15, 2021. Proposed construction of solar arrays at town-owned property, Route 17 Recreational Park. Resolved that the Portland Board of Selectmen hereby authorize CSW Energy, a clean energy advisor, to perform further due diligence, starting by submitting and securing a state incentive, otherwise known as ZREC, Z-R-E-C, on behalf of a prospective solar project installation on the Route 17 Park Concessions Building roof at no cost to the town, and to provide an update at a future Board of Selectmen's meeting for further consideration. And be it further resolved that the Portland Board of Selectmen hereby authorizes Ryan J. Curley, First Selectman, to sign and execute any required documents for the ZREC application.
I second it.
Thank you, Sean. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, Andy.
Cool. Thank you. We'll get to work.
All right. The next item is a revision to the non-union pay plan for fiscal year 2021 to 2022, specifically town clerk salary. So the town clerk salary, if you look in your packets, you'll see a resolution, and you'll also see an amended pay plan for the current fiscal year. And so the minimum for town clerk had not been changed since I believe it was 2015. So that minimum has remained the same for the past 6-7 years. Meanwhile, you know, everything, cost has gone up. So I'm proposing that we make an adjustment from, it was 67,500 before, and it would be 73,500 now with this change.
So,
Well, I need somebody to make the motion then.
I'll make the motion that we do it.
Okay. Do you want to introduce it, Bobby?
Resolution, Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, December 15th, 2021. Revision to non-union administrative pay plan for fiscal year 2021-2022. Resolved that the 2021-2022 pay plan for part-time specialists, seasonal employees, and administrative professionals, executive and elected officials as outlined on the attached, be and is hereby adopted with the following revisions. Elected officials, town clerk, the minimum be $73,500.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ralph. Any discussion on that?
I assume the funding is there for the bump?
Yeah, well, the funding was there from, there's a lot of funding because the position's still vacated. And so right now, there hasn't been a town clerk since November 16th. And hopefully this board will be able to appoint an acting town clerk in a meeting in early 2022. So the money is there.
Okay. What's the difference from what it was to now in dollar amount?
I think it's 6,000? It's 5,000.
5,000, okay.
Oh, 6, excuse me, 6,000. Call for the question?
I call it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you all. All right, refunds of excess payments.
I'll take it. Refund of excess payments, Core Logic Tax Services LLC, $3,802.26.
Ralph, oh,
Sean second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Volkswagen Credit Leasing Ltd., $124.01.
I'll second that, Ralph.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries.
Toyota Lease Trust, $73.17 and $56.86.
Ralph will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Status and committee reports.
I have, well, April just gave the report on the Solidarity Committee, which I'm a liaison to, so I have nothing new to report on that. I was unable to make the facility study group this past Tuesday for their meet, or was it Monday? I can't remember, but I couldn't make it. I don't know, but Bobby, were you at that for
No,
the
I was
facilities? You weren't at that one? So I apologize, I'm unable to report on that, but I look forward to getting some more information to you. Things are starting to move though, in January.
Thank you.
I got a couple commissions. So for Park and Rec, couple of the highlights from the meeting on Monday. We certainly are talking about what we have to finish out to close out the complex, so we can move forward. I know Little League is excited about doing some things at the park, so we're certainly working on that. Talked through a couple of the items and waiting for some information back from the developer. So hopefully we'll be close to finishing that very soon. Obviously, we had that great tree lighting event the other day. That went very well. That was done in conjunction with Youth Services. And probably the last thing with regards to Park and Rec is that a lot of the basketball, the rec basketball program is going to be starting up. I think actually may start this week for practices for the 3 through 8 groups. We're still working out registrations on K through 2. And the only thing of note is that Park and Rec is seeing a decreased registration. So I'm hoping that we will not have trouble, because I run the K through 2 program, that we're not going to have trouble with participation. But obviously there's still a little scare in the air. So hopefully we'll be able to have a good number of kids for those programs. With regards to economic development, I could go on all night on this one, so let me just pick a couple things. You know, Ryan was there as well. Brainerd's moving along, but right now they're dealing with an issue with Eversource. They're trying to get the power shut off to some of the buildings on Perry Ave, and Eversource is not being responsive to coming out and killing the power, so they can't go forward with taking those buildings down. So that's probably the main thing for the time being to mention. Mary Dickerson did go over, you know, with each of the projects, what's going on. So we've been very successful year in terms of businesses opening up, and that's good. And there's actually a few more coming. The Burger Heaven and Smooth. They're two separate businesses, but they're going to be coming in at the old Dairy Queen location, and they're hoping to be open by late January. So that's good. There's certainly a lot of construction. Portland Dental continues to make a lot of progress on how they're updating that building that they're going to move their entire practice into. So that's really good for the downtown area. What else of interest? I think those are probably the main things. I didn't have a chance, like I usually do, to look through and get more highlights, but those are a couple of things to mention. I don't know if there's anything that sticks in your mind, Ryan, that's worthy of mentioning as well.
Well, we had a nice ribbon cutting at the new Quarry Ridge a week or so ago, and I believe we'll have some grand openings, official grand openings for Dairy Queen still to come, and Primavera as well. So we look forward to those, and also to the new businesses that are coming in town, and we welcome more. So I think everyone's in favor of continuing that growth and economic development in town. So, yeah, thank you. Good progress, I think.
Yep.
Anyone else? All right. We can go on to public comment. Oh, quiet. All right. All right, we can move on to general informal discussion. Anyone have any?
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. I was going to try to make it earlier, but when we were doing appointments, I just really wanted to obviously thank a number of people that have worked hard on those commissions, and they should be recognized for working, you know, volunteering for their efforts. Unfortunately, some of them who wanted to come back didn't get the opportunity to, because there's a change of leadership, and I understand how it all works. But ultimately, for me, you know, I may not be as partisan as some of the people I may run with, but my expectations don't change that if we have people on these commissions and boards, that they're all working and they're all coming to the meetings and they're giving an effort, because that is so vital to our town. So I'm hoping the changes that happen, for the reasons they did, do not take away from that, because we need to continue to thrive in these groups, because that's how things really, in many ways, how things get done. So,
Thank you, Ralph. Yeah, I agree. Anyone else have anything? All right. I don't have anything for follow-up item, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you, Sean.
I'll second it, Ralph.
Ralph seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you all.
All right.
Another one down. All right. I always wait till that.